Finally, 2 months, 5 days, 21 hours, 4 minutes and 16 seconds ago, Borussia Mönchengladbach did beat FC Köln in the Bundesliga, which was the final game before the coronavirus shutdown. But not anymore, folks. We are back. Matchday number 26 coming at you, and the latest round of predictions. Woo! Next! Right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today, it is matchday number 26. Out in the 2019-2020 Bundesliga season, we're back. No coronavirus stopping me now, boys and girls. Hopefully, you're going to be excited to see us. It's got a new style of format coming at you, boys, but we'll get to that in just a second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Bundesliga related, world football related. We're going to know here. You heard it. Under one Roski. That's right. Now, the channel has been trying to tick along with all kinds of videos. I've done Bundesliga stuff, I've done Serie A stuff, I've done even flipping some K-League just started out the other day. But nothing beats the cream of the crop, and we're talking about the cream of Europe, the Bundesliga. Now we're going to be exploring the Bundesliga. We'll do the predictions just like we do, but it's going to be a little bit different. We'll showcase you in a second. But anyway, before we jump into match number 26, let's go all the way back 2 months, 5 days, 21 hours, 5 minutes and 35 seconds ago and take a little look at how we all got on last time around. Okay, folks, so just like always, we have the criteria 0 to 3, you're in the shit-face gang, 4 to 5, you're in the straight-face club, and 6+, you're in the top banana. That's what we want to see. So now, let's take a look at how I got on first and foremost with my predictions. This was in match number 25 all the way back in March. So Paderborn did take on FC Köln and they drew 2-2. Actually went with a 2-1 win in the end for Paderborn, so I got that one wrong. Next up, Wolfsburg and Leipzig duked it out to a 0-0 draw. Actually went with a 2-2 draw. So I got myself okay on that bad boy. Bayern Leverkusen did smash Eintracht Frankfurt 4-0. I actually went with a 2-0 win as well, so not too shabby indeed. Hertha Berlin and Werder Bremen duked it out to a 2-2 draw. I went with a 1-0 win for Hertha, so I got that one wrong as well. Schalke, they mustered a 1-1 draw against Hoffenheim at home. 2-0 for me. Got the right amount of goals, though. Just pretty shitty with the result. Freiburg go back to winning ways with a 3-1 win over Union Berlin. Actually with a 2-1 win myself, going the other way. As for the battle of the Borussias, it was a 2-1 win for Borussia. Dortmund, that is. Actually went with a 2-2 draw myself, so a bit of a blip. Bayern could only do a 2-0 win against Augsburg. I went with a 3-0 win. And finally at the bottom of the table there, 1-1 draw. I actually went with a 1-1 draw myself, so I got that one spot on. So all in all, not too shabby. The table looks like this. Bayern lead the way, 4 points clear. Borussia Dortmund. Leipzig are third. Borussia Gladbach are in fourth. Down the foot of the table, it's Paderborn, Werder Bremen, and Fortuna Düsseldorf at the bottom. So yeah, for me, I did okay. Now, what about you guys? How did you get on? Well, we'll take a little look at it in just a second. So this is where it all kicks off. Brand squeaky new, a new sort of style. I'm going to give myself 60 seconds to run through all your guys' predictions and give you a bit of a grading as well. To help me along with that, I've got the stop clock, and away we go. So let's start with Ree. You did pretty terrible with your predictions, so sort it out next week, buddy. Jack, he did okay for himself, not too shabby. How about Mitchell Shoney, Le Patreon? Respect to my brother. He did okay for himself as well. Okay. He did okay, not too shabby. How about Johnny Talks Bundesliga? He knows his stuff. He did okay for himself as well. How about Cody Cahoe? Another respect to my Patreon brother. He did pretty shit though. He needs to buck up his ideas next time around. How about Yannick Bustler? Not too shabby indeed, with an edit as well. Marius Christiansen, I've got 25 seconds left. You did okay for yourself, not too shabby. Borussia Mattia, not too shabby as well. Omaji Monday, he did alright for himself 2 months ago with that prediction. We are QPR, not too shabby as well. Kevin Wright, you did absolutely terrible, mate. Buck up your ideas, sunshine. Buck them up. Bianca Muller, you did okay for yourself. Not too shabby as well. Any more? Yes, we got a couple more. Oh, Murat, not too shabby. Christian04, not too shabby. Nathan Heaver, not too shabby. And there we go. Ran out of time, but I just squeezed it in. The reason for the clock is to try and speed through this whole show and not get stuck. And we're going to give ourselves 60 seconds each one of these games. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a 9-minute segment for the show. So roughly condensing this into a 20-minute stream. So we're going to be incorporating that across the board. But it is a little bit tricky. So hopefully we'll be able to do it. So let's get it on and talk about Augsburg up against Werder Bremen now. Let's get going. Let's please start the clock. And away we go. So Augsburg up against Wolfsburg coming at you on Saturday the 16th of May. The previous encounters between these two sides, 2 wins for Augsburg, 2 wins for Wolfsburg and 2 draws along the way. Wolfsburg have actually conceded at least 2 goals in the last 5 away matches, but Augsburg have actually lost their last 3 matches as well. Heading into this, the bookmakers odds 21-10 in favour of Wolfsburg, 12-5 is the draw, 5-4 is the away win. Heading into this though, Augsburg coming to the table 14th, whereas Wolfsburg are in 7th, unbeaten in the last 6 games. Augsburg, though, 3 defeats on the spin, so they're looking to get themselves a little bit closer onto this one. The last time that these two sides played, or the last time, well, in fact, the second from previous game between these two sides ended as an 8-1 belter in favour of Wolfsburg. But the last time that did play in Augsburg was a 3-2 win for Wolfsburg as well. Goal scorers on that day were William Gulavani and Yannick Gerhardt. And that is my 60 seconds. I am going to tell you, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw on this one. Can't really separate the two sides. But, yeah, it's going to be tight. Of course, first game back, or one of the first games back under the new sort of era of no fans. No fans in the stands. Okay, next up, bring on the clock. We've got Hoffenheim up against Hertha Berlin. Let's talk about it, shall we? Hoffenheim, the Battle of the H's, duke it out over in Hoffenheim on the 16th of May as well. The last 6 encounters see 3 wins for Hoffenheim, 3 draws along the way, 0 wins for Hertha Berlin. The last time that these two sides played in Hoffenheim was a 2-0 win back in April 2019. Armini and Reece Nelson, of course, ex-Arsenal man, or maybe even a current Arsenal man. Hertha Berlin have actually scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches, whereas Hertha Berlin have actually conceded at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches as well. The bookmakers, they go with the Battle of the H's in favour of, I can't even see it. It is evens for Hoffenheim, 13-5 for the draw, 5-2 for the away win. Heading into this, Hoffenheim sitting 9th in the table, a win away from going up as high as 6th, whereas Hertha Berlin are 13th, a win away from going up to 11th. And the current form for Hertha Berlin is without a win in 3. For me, though, I'm going to go with a cheeky 1-0 win for Hoffenheim to snatch the 3 points and again move potentially into the top 6, which is Europe. Opa spots. Anyway, that's a bit more like it. Not too shabby as well. Next up, we have Leipzig up against Freiburg. Let's take a look at that one, shall we? So that one takes place also on the 16th. Going up at Leipzig. The last 6 encounters between these two sides. Surprisingly, 3 wins for Leipzig, 3 wins for Freiburg. They did play in Freiburg back in October 2019. And the last time I played in Leipzig was around about this time of the year, 27th of April 2019. Leipzig coming out on top, 2-1 win as well. Goal scorers on that. And Timo time. Timo Werner and Emil Forsberg from the penalty spot. Vincenzo Garifo for Freiburg. Leipzig are actually undefeated in their last 9 matches, whereas Freiburg have actually failed to win 9 of the last 10 away matches as well. Heading into this, the bookmakers odds go in favour of Leipzig, 3-10 on, 4-1 is the draw, 9-1 is the away win. Whereas we take a look at the table itself, Leipzig are in 3rd, a win away from going into 2nd, whereas Freiburg still battling for Europa League spots, sitting in 8th, a win away from going into the top 6. It's a tough old boots, this one, but I'm going to go with Leipzig. Of course, they are the favourites. They are, of course, battling on multiple fronts. Maybe the Champions League will come back again, but yeah, safe as houses this one, 2-0 win in favour of Leipzig. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of the old 60-second hoodoo now. Next up, it is Borussia Dortmund up against Schalke. It's a bit of a derby, this bad boy. So away we go on this one. The last 6 encounters between these two sides. Surprisingly, 2 wins for Schalke, 1 win for Dortmund, 3 draws along the way. They did play in Dortmund. They ran about this time last season as well, ending up as a 4-2 win in favour of Schalke. Dortmund had 2 players sent off, Marco Reus and Marius Wolf. The goal scorers on this occasion for Dortmund, Götze and Witzel on the score sheet, whereas Brielimbolo, Daniel Calgary with a brace and Salif Sane on the score sheet for Schalke. Earlier in the season, they did play over in Schalke. It was a 0-0 draw. Dortmund have actually won 7 of the last 8 matches in the Bundesliga. Schalke have actually failed to score in the last 4 matches as well. Dortmund have actually also kept a clean sheet in the last 3 home matches. The bookmakers' odds on this one are going to be quick. 2-1 on for Dortmund, 10-3 is the draw, 5-1 is the away win. Dortmund a win away from closing the gap a little bit on to Bayern. Schalke in 6th, a win away from breaking the 40-point barrier. Without a win, though, in 6 games. 4 draws at the past 6. It's a tough one, this one. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Dortmund to nick it. It is a bit of a derby, but they'll just pip Schalke. Yes. Next up, we have Düsseldorf up against Paderborn. Let's take a closer look at that one, shall we? And away we go with the clock. The last 6 encounters sees 1 win for Düsseldorf, 4 wins for Paderborn, 1 draw along the way. They did play in Paderborn earlier in the season. It was a 2-0 win for Paderborn. You've got to go all the way back to 2014 for Fortuna Düsseldorf's last victory over Paderborn. And if you want to take a little look at the last few encounters in Düsseldorf, you've got to go all the way back to 2009 for Düsseldorf's last victory against Paderborn at home. Paderborn losing the last 4 matches though, and have also conceded at least 2 goals in those last 4 matches. They sit bottom of the table, 16 points, but a win away from going up to 17th, whereas Düsseldorf not out of the woods yet in the playoff spot with 22 points on the board. A win away for them could potentially close in on Mainz. Bookmakers odds on this one taking place also on the Saturday, 21 to 20 for the Düsseldorf, 30 to 5 is the draw, 23 to 10 is the away win. It's a tough one, this one. Again, 2 sides battling for relegation, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 win in favour of Düsseldorf to nick it. And I've got 2 seconds to spare. How'd you like that bad boy? Not too shabby as well. Moving on to Frankie Vaughan. Frankfurt up against my boys München Gladbach. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the nutshell. We've got a minute to talk about three wins for Frankfurt of the last 6 encounters between 2 sides. Just 2 for Gladbach and 1 draw along the way. However, the last time they did play each other over in München Gladbach was a 4-2 win earlier in the season, around about October. Marcus Thuram with a goal. Oscar Wendt, Nico Elvedi and Dennis Sakira on the score sheet for Mönchengladbach. Danny Da Costa, Martin Hinteregger for Frankie. The last time they played in Frankfurt, though, was a 1-1 draw around about February last season. Frankfurt actually lost the last 3 matches in the Bundesliga and conceded at least 2 goals in those last 3 matches as well. So Mönchengladbach may have the upper hand, but it's away from home. The bookmakers find this one a little bit tough to call as well. 90 to 10 in favour of Frankfurt. Borussia Mönchengladbach are 5 to 4, are probably favourites. 30 to 5 is the draw. The table shows Mönchengladbach in 4th, a win away from going up to 2nd if they are victorious, whereas Frankfurt are in 12th, 3 defeats on the spin. Tough one. I'm actually getting for a draw on this one, 2-2-2. You'll see once the stupid clock gets out of the way. I've got to figure it all out. But as you can see, not too shabby. 2-2, all square in the end. Next up, it is Fortuna Cologne. It's FC Cologne up against FC Mainz. Let's get into that one. Mainz 0-4. Let's talk about that, shall we? So the last 6 encounters between these 2 sides, 2 wins for Köln, 2 wins for Mainz, and 2 draws along the way. They played in Mainz earlier in the season. It was a 3-1 win for Mainz, and the last time they played in Köln was a 1-1 draw back in 2018. Köln have actually won their 5 of the last 6 home matches in the Bundesliga. So they'll fancy the chances as well back at home up against Mainz. Köln actually rise in the table a little bit. Of course, the last game was the last game in the Bundesliga before the old break, or the unwanted break. They sit 10th for the table, a win away from going up to 9th, whereas Mainz currently sit in 15th spot, a win away from going up as high as 12th. Bookmakers odds on this son of a gun taking place on Sunday, the 17th of May, 90 to 20 odds. So 20 to 19 on for Köln, 30 to 5 the away win for Mainz, 30 to 5 is also the draw. Yeah, not too shabby odds on this one. In fact, Mainz just the 1 defeat at the past 5. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for the home team. I fancy their chances. They're rising the table late. But how will they play without fans? That's the question. How will they play without the fans? 2-0 for me in the end. Next up, who do we have? We have Union Berlin up against the champions, Bayern. Let's get into it, shall we? So these 2 sides duking it out just the 2 times over the past couple of seasons. They did play earlier in the season. It was a 2-1 win for Bayern down in Bavaria. The last time they played in Berlin, it looks like it was a friendly back in 2019. Also a win for Bayern. Heading into this, the form book, Bayern München 4 wins on the spin in all competitions, where Union Berlin just 1 win in 5. In all competitions. Bayern have actually won 10 of the last 11 Bundesliga matches and have all scored 3 goals, at least 3 goals in the last 5 away matches. So they're bang on form, but they're also two months shy of the last game. 12 to 1 is the long shot for Union Berlin for the victory. 5 to 1 on for Bayern. 11 to 2 is the draw. Union Berlin currently sit 11th, a win away from going up to 10th. Bayern are top of the table, and they will be top of the table after this match day. But can they extend their lead? Yeah, 4 wins on the spin for them, quite comfortable. They're looking decent, and right now it's hard. It'd be hard nosed to back anything but a Bayern Bundesliga victory. But with a 2-1 win, away day win at Berlin. I'm going to wrap it up against Werder Bremen, up against Bayer Leverkusen. Must win game for Werder Bremen, they are down the bottom of the table, or the foot of the table, 17th at the moment. They need the points. The last 6 encounters between themselves and Bayer Leverkusen, 1 win for Werder Bremen, 3 wins for Leverkusen, and 2 draws along the way. The last time that they played in Werder Bremen was a 6-2 demolition in favour of Leverkusen. So they absolutely smashed him with Kevin Volland with a goal, Julian Brandt with a goal, Karim Balrabi, Kai Havertz with a brace, Alexander Dragovic as well on the score sheet, Claudio Pizarro and Yuya Osaka on the score sheet. Werder Bremen have actually lost the last 6 home matches and also failed to score in the last 5. They've also conceded at least 2 in the last 6 matches. The bookies, this takes place on the Monday, the 18th of May, 7-2 in favour of Werder Bremen, 3-4 on for Bayer Leverkusen. 11-4 is the draw. Leverkusen currently find themselves in 5th, a win away from going up as high as 3rd, whereas Werder Bremen are in 17th, a win away from closing the gap onto 16th spot. This is a must-win game for Werder Bremen, but up against one of the bigger boys. It's tough, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline in the end. Points shared. Everybody will be content with that, potentially. Anyway, that completes my predictions for match day number 26. Just in case, because I did make earlier matchday predictions for matchday 26 way back when we originally thought it was going to happen. If you're curious to know what they look like, I'll show you them in just a second. But if my predictions were to come on true, this is what the table would look like come the end of matchday number 26. Bayern would lead the line, 58 points on the board. Borussia Mönchengladbach would be in 2nd, 54. Leipzig 3rd. Mönchengladbach into 4th, or remain in 4th, should I say. Then it's Leverkusen and Hoffenheim in the power 6. Down the bottom it would be Paderborn, Werder Bremen, and Fortuna Düsseldorf, as you were. Just like I said, these were my early predictions. There's a snapper, a handsome snapper, that little sexy bastard, aka known as this guy. And that, my friends, is it. We are back, of course, doing this, and of course we're doing the Korean predictions as well. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll also start seeing the Spanish leagues, maybe the Italian leagues, also follow suit, because it's been an absolute crazy experience. It still is a crazy experience. Masks on, no fans, all this kind of jazz. We got it all here, babies, under one roof. Hopefully you enjoyed the new style. Of course, I'm still tweaking it a little bit. This has kind of come out of nowhere. We were always expecting the return of football, but I just didn't know when it would be. So I was trying to think about this, and this was something I was going to work on for next season. But I thought, you know what, we'll go with it. Yes, the big fat fist gets in the way. I get that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions about the new look. It is much harder. It does take a lot more time to set up. But anyway, boys, that's all I've got. Until then, I'll see you all next time around for match day number 27. Can Mönchengladbach get back? Thank heavens we are back. Thank heavens we got some football, and we got some A-grade football as well. No disrespect to anything else out there, but until then, I'll see you all. Be sure to check out the description links to my other social media platforms, including Patreon. If you want to support the channel in another way, that's the way to do it. Could do with a couple more Patreons. I lost a couple in the old hoodoo. But anyway, I'll talk about that another time. Until then, out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.